are women that are very trashy, and they have a thing particularly for married men.
You guys, let's talk about this. Why are some women attracted to married men? Why is it that when a man is married, that is why some women are like, he's my type? And this is, you will see a lot of married men will tell you that when I wear my ring as a married man, that is when I get a lot of women like cut eye for me when I'm outside, and they always want me to come and talk to them or something. Like they see women always want to date them or want to be with them because they are married. Why do you think some women are very attracted or like married men? Let's have this conversation, because in today's video, women or married women are like, my husband is not your safe space. My husband is not your emotional support system. So if you're married as a woman or you're single, go and find someone else to talk to or to be your bestie. You shouldn't use my husband as your bestie because he's a married man. You should have boundaries. You should have boundaries and all of that. Don't just jump on any married man and say, oh, this man, I want it to be my best friend. I want it to be my safe space or in my emotional support system or my leader or something. Like, always give that wife the respect that she's due to. Let me show you all these videos, then I'll share my thoughts at the end of the video. But I'd like to know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section, respectfully.
I heard a doctor say that whenever he started wearing a wedding ring after he got married, more women started hitting on him. And that's the truth. There are women that are very trashy, and they have a thing particularly for married men. The challenge and the chase of someone else's man excites them. And that is exactly why you want to date or marry a man who has good boundaries with other women. You don't want to date the guy. You don't want to marry the guy that's like, I could have a work wife. I have a best female friend. Men that don't have boundaries with other women, that let other women constantly flirt with him and he indulges it because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings, steer far and clear from those men. Because at the end of the day, no matter how a woman behaves towards your husband, it is his job to put boundaries in place and protect your marriage, because there's always going to be trashy women that are like, ooh, married man. Mistresses are unfortunately always going to exist because there's always going to be women who have no self-respect.
Yeah.
So yes, honestly, to some women, your husband is attractive just because he's with you. And that is why a good man, a faithful husband, will have good boundaries with all other women. Someone else's husband is not your safe space. Like, what is this comment? Any woman that looks at a married man is like, that's who I want to tell my personal problems to. That's who I want to confide in. That's my best friend. Someone else's husband? First and foremost, he should have boundaries with you and should not even let you think that he's your confidant. But secondly, when I was single, before I was married, you would never catch me telling like my private personal issues to a married man. I would tell my girlfriends, like, someone else's husband is not my confidant, is not my best friend. You can have, great friendships with your colleagues, your coworkers that are men that you respect. The minute you're like, my life is so hard, you're telling him all your problems because he's your safe space. He is his wife's safe space. Like, what is this? What is this nonsense? This is why people cannot figure their relationships out, is because they really say this kind of nonsense. How insane does that sound? Someone else's husband is my safe space. What? And there's a reason these women aren't going to the wife. They like the husband's attention. They like his attention. They're getting some kind of fix from getting this attention from a married man. Someone else's husband is not your safe space. Like, what is this comment? Any woman that looks at a married man is like, that's who I want to tell my personal problems to. That's who I want to confide in. That's my best friend. Someone else's husband? First and foremost, he should have boundaries with you and should not even let you think that he's your confidant. But secondly, when I was single, before I was married, you would never catch me telling like my private personal issues to a married man. I would tell my girlfriends.
Surprisingly, there was a lot of women in that comment section that didn't agree with her. One woman even said, when you think the way that she thinks, you make women seem like they're just possessions, like their men own them. which I don't agree with, of course, and I think it's stupid as hell because, for one, everything that she said applies to men as well. As a married man, I shouldn't be looking to a woman outside of my marriage as my safe place or as my emotional support. I have a whole wife. The other thing, and it's like, y'all just forget about this. When it comes to relationships, marriages in particular, they're supposed to be exclusive between two people. How those two people involved in that relationship see each other and how they experience each other, no other person should be able to see that or experience that. Let's keep it 100 now. There is no reason why any woman outside of my family and outside of my wife should feel so comfortable around me that she's labeling me as her emotional support and as her safe place. In order for that to happen, there's some boundaries that have been crossed already. And it don't matter how long you've known that woman, because that's the ladies' argument. Oh, I got male friends, I've known them forever and all that stuff. That don't matter. The moment I got married, the moment she got married, boundaries. We don't interact with each other the same way that we used to. When you're a married man or woman and you don't play about your marriage, you're going to interact with people of the opposite sex differently. And if you are a man or a woman who takes no pride and has no desire to cause any problems in another person's marriage, you're going to interact with people that are married differently. When it comes down to it, this is how cheating starts. You can say that this is innocent. You can say that this is just something between two platonic friends, but this is how it starts. Married people letting their guards down, allowing people to cross boundaries, getting too comfortable with them. People that are single going out of their way to cross boundaries and get too familiar and too comfortable with people that are in relationships. And miss me with the bullshit too, because you're not getting this comfortable or allowing somebody to get this comfortable with you if you're not attracted to them in some type of way. It's men and women that think like this that will be like, I don't know how this happened once they actually cheated. I don't know how this happened. Yes, you do know how this happened. And you wanted it to happen. That's why you put yourself in that position.
Just saw the best video of my life, I think, on this TikTok, and I'm gonna tag her at the bottom. But she said, someone else's husband is not your safe space. So to the woman who thought that my husband was her safe space, baby girl, he's not your safe space. Nobody else's husband is your safe space. Your husband is your safe space. You're married, and just because you lost a child and you thought that going to my husband for comfort was going to be appropriate, it's not. It's not appropriate. It was never appropriate to go to my husband for your comfort, for your validation, for anything that you needed. That's your husband's job. That's literally what God intended. You also don't go to my husband to lead you in Christ. That's also your husband's job, honey. And my husband doesn't need a hug from you, even if he's having a bad day, even if we're fighting, even if we are going through the worst period of our marriage. You are not the one that needs to be touching him. That's my job. Because he's my husband. And if you need a hug or you want to go comfort somebody, go comfort your husband. Don't come comfort my husband. My husband's just fine. He's been through it before. We've got 20 years in this game. So as you go through the remainder of your life, because you don't have access to my husband anymore, maybe continuing to keep your hands off of other people's husbands, this might benefit you in a way. Because I do know that, because I spoke to another coworker of yours that's no longer there, and I did read the report, you've been reported more than once for sexually inappropriate behavior at work. Because I reported you, and another coworker reported you. So, I wonder how many reports it'll take before corporate fires you. So maybe you should learn to keep your hands to yourself, keep this little thing right here closed, and if you need comfort, validation, or anything else, go to your husband. If you need to be led by Christ, go to your husband. There is a church, there is a pastor, there is your husband. There are best friends, there are in-laws and your parents and all of the people that you can lean on. Stay away from other people's husbands. I hope that I have done a future woman a favor by calling you out on your crap and reporting you to corporate and making such a stink out of this situation that you will keep your hands to yourself. I intended very much for that to be the purpose. You may have been able to fool my husband because he was weak. That's fine. That's fine. But I hope that it keeps you in check. Because this is the second time you've been reported, to my knowledge, within 12 months, within a year. It's been within 10 months that you've been reported twice. So if you're watching this, which I know that your little fan club at work watches all my TikToks and stalks my page. So, hey guys, that you also stalk my husband's page. We can see you. Okay, we can see you coming onto our stuff. We can see you. And I've got the screenshots. So, we can see you. Keep your hands off other people's husbands. Put your hands on your own husband. And if you don't want to put your hands on your own husband, you know what? Send him to somebody else who wants to put their hands on him. Because I don't think that you would appreciate it much if another woman came up and started messing with your husband. So how about you keep your hands off everybody else's husband? Keep your mouth closed, because it's not appropriate. It's not Christ-like if you're trying to find somebody to lead you to God. That ain't the way to do it, honey. Open up your Bible, read it, and learn what it means to be a wife. I mean, heck, we all said it on our wedding day, through sickness and health till death do us part. Good times and bad times. Through it all. So, if you're not willing to commit to that with your husband, don't try to yank up somebody else's husband out from underneath them. Because I meant those words that I said on my wedding day. Clearly you didn't mean them to your husband. Not what you said on yours. Keep your hands to yourself and your mouth closed. Read your Bible and learn what it means to be a wife. There's Proverbs 31. There's Ephesians 5. It'll tell you what you're supposed to do as a wife. And you're not supposed to touch other people's husbands. So, my husband, not your safe space. Nobody else's husband is your safe space. And if you don't like your husband enough to go find somebody else, maybe you should go divorce your husband. And then you won't have a problem. You could just go running around and doing all of the things. But if you're not willing to leave your own husband, don't go running after somebody else's. My husband, not your safe space. Not your place to go. And if y'all want to keep watching my TikToks, keep watching them. I have lots more tips on how to keep your hands to yourself. Minding your own business and going to your spouse for comfort. Follow me for more tips on how to not be a side chick.
Some young girls will say they prefer married men to single men. I really don't know why. I want to believe that they say they prefer married men to single men because married men will give them money. I don't know. But some of them end up falling in love with the married man, and that is where the problem is, right? So you having a married man as your safe space, your emotional support, even if you don't want to have something sexual to do with him, is risky. There's no point doing that because unless the relationship is very good and the wife is in, you're close to the wife as well, and she's also in support of it, then it's fine. If you don't know the wife, you don't even know Annie, or you don't even talk to her, or she's having a problem with it, whatever relationship you have with a married man, even though it's just your friend or your confidant or something, you have to cut it off because it doesn't make sense. In fact, if you have a bestie and he's a guy and automatically he's getting married to another woman, you should know that a relationship or the friendship both of you have is gonna have, there's gonna be space with some things that both of you do together because now Ina has a wife, right? And there's so many things he's supposed to be doing with his wife that he's not supposed to be doing with you because now he has what's that what we call boundaries. In as much as we know that these men are also responsible for all of this, because if you're having a woman that is doing some things that is going beyond what she's not supposed to do, as a married man, you're supposed to also caution the whole relationship or friendship, or caution the whole thing and be like, you know what, you and I cannot continue this relationship or this friendship because I am married, right? But then because these men, that is what they like, okay? Most of them, that is what they like. They see it as fine girls are still all over me. So they don't want to even cut anything off. They would, appreciate the whole advances, or they will just encourage it. If you're trying to talk to them or you're trying to seduce them as a single person, they like it. Okay, they like it. They will encourage it. Most of them usually encourage it. It is married women that always cut those things off immediately when they sense it. But a married man, when once even though he senses it, he will not cut it off. It is opportunity for him to cheat on his wife. So in as much as these men, we know who they are, as a woman as well, always have that boundary set in your head, like, oh, this person's a married man, I don't want to have anything to do with the man. You're not also doing that because of the man, you're also thinking about the wife as well. What if the wife finds out? What if I am the wife one day? What is going to happen? Am I going to like a situation like this? Most of the time, whatever relationship that a married man has with another woman outside, even though they're not sleeping together, most of the time the wife is always attacking that friendship or that relationship. But the other person will not know. So immediately you find out that the wife is not okay with that kind of relationship, stop it. Even though there's nothing sexually going on with you, and just stop it. All for your own sanity. Because look at the last creator, you guys. Of course, like there's no how you're going to be hurting the wife one way or the other, and you're going to be taking the husband attention one way or the other. So if in your head the kind of man that attracts you is another woman's man, I feel like you need therapy. I feel like there's a problem. I feel like there's a problem, right? I really don't know why some women always see married men attractive. I don't know why. If a married man comes to meet you, you're supposed to send him back to his wife. Unless probably you're doing it for something else, probably benefit, I don't know. No judge, yeah. But then you have to be able to set boundaries. And sometimes when some of them are doing it just because, oh, they want to fall in love with a married man, I want him to leave his wife for me, that is beyond, like, it's too much. You're doing too much. Okay. I just feel like there should be boundaries both ways, not just the woman. But I feel like the boundaries should come more from the man. In my own opinion, I feel like the boundaries should come more from the man. If the woman is not seeing the boundaries, the man should be able to say, you know what, we need to stop it here. Like, you cannot do this anymore. We can't continue this conversation anymore. We can, like, I feel like the boundaries should come from more from the man, because he's the one married to a woman. He's supposed to have that serious boundary. But then because of these men, they do not want to even have boundaries. Most married men don't have boundaries. They encourage anything that is pushed across to them. They will take it. They will just take his opportunity for them to cheat on their wives. You guys, what's your take on this video? Can you share your thought down in the comment section respectfully. As always, you got Maria David, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.